So, Deanna, tell me about this show of yours. It's a big, big obsession. I love it. How did it become about and how are you involved?
It's actually been in process for a very long time. It was actually going to be on Netflix as a Latin show. And so it's kind of evolved over time. But I started at Wheelhouse and we already had the project set up with Netflix. So I got involved when it started into production and we needed a good post EP. And so I helped out and joined in.
Nice. And tell me about this cast. I mean, I'm totally, totally obsessed with them. Been following them for years. How did you finally land on them?
I mean, they sold themselves, right? Like just because the connection to Kyle, but also Mauricio. I mean, he's just made it on his own with the agency. The agency is everywhere, which is so funny. If you don't know it exists, you might not see it, but the minute you know the agency exists, you see it everywhere. And the minute we like started talking to his daughters, like we just knew there was a show there because I mean, you see them in the housewives world a little bit, but when you get to know them, they're just incredible strong women, and like you can tell their family bond is incredible and that they don't hold back when it comes to talking to each other, at least about some things. And so they just really stood out as an amazing cast, and Selling Sunset just happened to be the up and coming show, and they fit into that world, so I think it was just a bit of perfect timing and a great family.
Absolutely. And I just love that's what I love about them. I mean, the girls are so strong, they're intelligent, they're great role models for the next generation. What was the most important thing you learned about them as a woman?
mm. I think that they really didn't want to have the persona that they got their job because who their father is. And so when you watch them, you realize that they work their butt off to prove that they got this job and that they deserve this job because of who they are and how hard they work, and not because of who their daddy is, which how can you not love somebody like that?
Yeah, that's what I really like about them too. They're really great in their own right, and they have a good role model in Mauricio, and that's what I like about that. He may have, I don't think that he helped them. I think he inspired them and was more of a role model than anything else.
Exactly. I mean, how many people follow in their family's footsteps? A lot of people do, and that's all they did.
Yeah. And what about Mauricio? Tell me a little bit about working with him because he's got such an icon on Beverly Hills and like every woman's Bravo crush, including mine.
Yes. Oh my God, the love for Mauricio. He's fantastic to work with. Like he is just a really positive person. Like the minute he steps in the room, he brings such a good vibe. He treats everyone really nice. He wants the show to be the best it can be. And I mean, anytime you see him on social media, he's constantly going. Like he is the hardest worker I probably have ever met, but also a really great person and somebody who really just wants the show to do well, wants everything to be authentic, and is there to like help us, which is kind of rare when it comes to reality shows sometimes.
Yeah, what I liked about buying Beverly Hilton is it kind of stayed away from the drama. It was more about the family dynamic. Did you decide to go that way, or did it just come organically?
No, 100%. Especially when you have shows like Selling Sunset and Million Dollar Listing, we have to
Yeah.
stand out in a way. And, when I first saw the cast, that was the thing that stood out to me. This family is incredible. And when you mix family and business, there's just going to be important issues that are talked about. And we knew that going off the bat that like the drama in the show was not going to be catty. It wasn't going to be stupid. It was going to be important. It's about legacy. It's about nepotism. It's about different generations. And so everything that we did in that show was really put through that lens. And that's why when you hear people say that, this show is Selling Sunset meets Housewives meets Succession, like that was 100% intentional. That's what we wanted.
Yeah. Was the biggest challenge for you personally making the show? I know you said it was a long time coming, but what was the biggest challenge for you?
I think just making it stand out from the other shows that were out there because, first seasons are really hard, especially docuseries. Like you could put together that show a million different ways. And so how do you put together a good story, introduce all these characters, but then above all, make it stand out? So that was our biggest challenge. And I think the Succession vibe and that family vibe really was what we tried to instill into it. You'll notice that the music sometimes is classical, very much like Succession. The B-roll that we use is very high end, and we try to use those box filters to just elevate it a bit. The scenes are always revolving around the family and the business. So everything always ties back to that family element in one way or another.
I like it. And if and when, I should say when, to put positive vibes into the universe, that you get season 2, what can we expect to see, or what would be on your wish list to see?
My wish list would be to see Alexia evolve, because I know, because I've talked to her since the season is wrapped, and I know that she's killing it. So I can't wait for next season for people to see this new version of Alexia. And we're also reaching out to other few possible cast additions, which are always exciting.
Yeah, they're going to be through the agency or just a different one. Oh, gotcha.
Definitely all very organic connections that they just were like, hey, these people are around, why don't you talk to them? Everything is, we don't like to manufacture. I think that makes shows feel fabricated. And so we've done everything to make sure that these are real people that are really in this world and really connected to all these characters.
Yeah. So is there any chance we're going to see Farrah's wedding, or is that going to be?
Fingers crossed. No one knows.
Because I think both Bravo fans and Buying Beverly Hills fans are just dying to see her get married, because she's been with this gentleman for so long. We've seen her grow up on the show, and
I know we know we want to do it. Whether it happens, that's it's still a question mark.
Nice. And other than dealing with this nepotism and everything else that people think they know, what is one thing you think other women watching can learn from the girls?
From the girls. I think the way that they deal with conflict is really incredible. Like a lot of reality shows, it's yelling, it's screaming, it's talking behind people's back. And what I've seen these girls do is they really just have conversations, and they recognize an issue and they want to bring it to someone's attention, and they go to find the best way to do that. Like they seek guidance, and then they confront in a very respectful way. And I think that's something anybody can learn from, because A, it's hard, and B, that's just the way it should be. Like everything should be respectful when you're dealing with conflict. And sometimes I feel like it's easy to get, hot-headed.
Exactly. Yeah. And what about Mauricio? What do you think he could teach the men watching?
How to love their daughters. I mean, he just loves his daughters to pieces. He has nothing but nice things to say about them. He wants them to grow and to be better. And he's not against like giving a little tough love, which I think everybody needs. So I think he's just a great example of an amazing father, especially in a tough role that he's in. Like he's very busy. He's very successful. Like it's very easy to not be there for your children, and he is 100% there.
Yes, that's beautiful. And I think every girl deserves a daddy like that.
I agree. I had one. Just to be clear, I had a good one.
Same. And what's next for you? What else are you working on these days?
So I actually work in development as well. So we're developing a bunch of projects. We actually have one coming out on Hulu soon called Secret Chef that I'm super excited about. It's a different take on the cooking world that I don't think we've seen before. And the showrunner, Patrick J. Doody, he just did an amazing job. It has like a really cool tone and feel that's very unique. So I'm excited for that one to come out. And, I have little things in the works that I'm not supposed to talk about, but I'm excited for those to come out eventually as well.
Well, we'll just have you back on again to talk about those.
Yes, exactly.
Nice. And one thing I like asking people I interview is, tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Ooh, I am a Buffalo Bills fan, and so this past weekend was heartbreaking.
I know, me too. What was going on?
I don't know. It was so sad. But yeah, I've been a Bills fan since I was a little baby because I grew up in Buffalo, and so I have pictures of myself when we went to the Super Bowl 4 years and we didn't win. So, this year was so exciting, and then that was just a big letdown.
I really thought we had it. I really, really thought they had it.
And me and my Brent Montgomery, who's the owner of Wheelhouse, he likes the Cowboys. And so we were like back and forth. We're like, all right, it's going to be Cowboys versus the Bills. And then we both lost.
Yes. Actually, it's funny you say that. One of my friends, he's a Cowboys fan, and his best friend is a Bills fan. And they had the same thing going on.
It was the worst. It was a sad day.
Yes. Very sad. Very sad. There's always next year, though.
Yes.
Nice.
They better bring it next year.
Yes. And since we're a TV site, what are you watching these days other than buying Beverly Hills?
What's really funny is I actually, not that I just discovered it, but I just started watching Love Island and I'm obsessed with that show. Holy cow. Like, I didn't even realize how far back it went. I'm watching the US, I'm watching the UK. Like, I'm obsessed with that. And then in the scripted world, White Lotus. Oh my God. Just
Yes.
incredible. I think anything on HBO is incredible, but those are the two big ones I'm into right now.
Those are really good. And Jennifer Coolidge is just
Ah,
so iconic. You
yeah.
need to get a show with her because she could really bring it. I would love to
That's
see her.
actually a great idea. That's a really, I might
Steal
have,
it. Please steal it.
I will. I'll steal
Yours.
that one from you.
From Stifler's mom to
Yes.
White Lotus.
Oh, wouldn't she be great on a MILF show? We already got one of those. I need nothing. I need a new
They missed
idea.
a golden opportunity to have her host that show.
100%. They missed it.
Well, now you have an idea. You could poach her for a show like that.
I'm into this. I'm into it, really.
Becoming a MILF.
Yeah. I love it.
The MILF makeover.
That's actually pretty good. That's what my head went first. I was like, 100% you want to do MILF makeovers because, like, I'm 40. I would want that.
Oh, we're just almost the same age. I'll be 40 in September. That's great.
My husband's birthday is tomorrow, actually, and he'll be 40.
Well, happy birthday to him.
Thank you.
Great. And where can we follow you on social media so we can continue to follow your amazing project?
So you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Deanna Markoff. At
Wonderful.
Markoff. Yeah.
I will send you a follow, and thank you for taking the time today. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to talk again soon.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you so much. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Bye.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.